Yeah, I'll change the presenter's view actually. Yeah. Now you are getting full screen?
No, sir. Yeah, now you are getting. Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead, sir, please.
yeah.
Thank you.
That is a time lapse actually.
Yes, sir.
Because, okay, good evening, my dear friends, engineers, my fellow engineers, consultants, architects, architectural engineers from all over the country. I'm very happy to share my knowledge little knowledge that I could gain in the last 40 years. And today's interesting topic is resilient infrastructure for India's growth story, challenges and opportunities. Very nicely named by Anchuri, my friend. So it was a challenge for me to prepare this presentation because all the elements we had to bring into it. And now I'll be starting my presentation. So smart infrastructure integrates the technology and data to enhance efficiency, sustainability, and resilience. In fact, these are all jargon. I would say mostly we are getting from AI also these words. But it's very interesting to talk about this how smart infrastructure can make resilient infrastructure, how a resilient infrastructure can make sustainable built environment, and how all the smart and resilient infrastructure can enhance the efficiency. This is what is the talk I'm going to make with my projects that I have done and experience that I gained. The resilient infrastructure is critical for adapting to climate change. This is the very why we are hearing this resilient infrastructure name or resilience, talking about resilience in the past 5-10 years. Also, I'll be touching upon how the climate change is demanding the need for resilience in the infrastructure and natural disasters and urbanization. We are also seeing the rapid urbanization that is taking place. And we all know infrastructure is mainly economic infrastructure that we are seeing transportation, energy, communication, waste, and water. And I'll be explaining as we move forward each of this. I'll be touching upon all the projects that we have done in each sector actually. I'll talk about what resilience we have built into this design basis actually of these various economic infrastructure. And then social infrastructure, that is also very important. When we talk about economy, economy without social infrastructure doesn't make sense actually. We have experienced during we have tested the resilience of our healthcare infrastructure actually during pandemic, particularly wave 2 of COVID actually. We have seen in 2021, we have reached the limits of our healthcare infrastructure and we have reached the limits of health of people actually. So Government of India, we all know, has taken immediate steps to enhance this health infrastructure so that in future the such conditions will not be tested actually, healthcare. Education, of course, has been gaining a lot of importance in our country, which is very important to build this infrastructure for schools particularly. Right now, last 5-10 years, Government of India is investing a huge money on upgrading and updating our education infrastructure, which is also very important for any economic growth actually. Public safety, next, very important. During riots, during attacks, we have seen how important public safety it is during the terrorist attacks in Mumbai and other cities. So I'll just now move on to the topic. Now, let us look at what is resilience in infrastructure. How do you build resilience? Actually, somebody asked me, what is this resilience? In engineering terms, resilience is the residual energy beyond the elastic limit of any structure. But today we are not talking about just structures. We are talking about infrastructure. So in infrastructure, the resilience can be built through robustness, through redundancy. Redundancy is very, very important. I'll just give an example. Redundancy means you have a bridge, one bridge to cross a river. Suppose due to any reason the bridge fails, what is the resilience in transportation? Then you need redundancy. You need to have a second bridge to utilize. Similarly, in the roads, I have done this in projects actually in power infrastructure. For example, in combined state of Andhra Pradesh, where we did a project for hazard mitigation and emergency cyclone reconstruction, where we studied the power distribution and transmission network, and we have built a redundancy in the network so that we have experienced in 1996, Andhra Pradesh particularly, there was a dark time for about 1 week. That means no power for almost 20 districts or 15 districts. So we were asked to study the reasons for that power outages for such a long time and come out with the recommendations. There we built this redundancy in the network. That means similarly, Hyderabad, I'll be sharing those experiences as we move forward. But as an introduction, Hyderabad, we have SCADA. In the last about 10 years back, we have designed SCADA towers. We have 100 substations for Hyderabad. That means Hyderabad gets power from different sources and we distribute to different regions. Then what we used to have power outages in Hyderabad city for an hour, for a half an hour, about 15 years, 20 years back. In the last 10 years, if you see, the power outage time has been drastically minimized to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 0 also. How it is achieved is by implementing SCADA, that is resourcefulness. And we have alternative power supplies, and by using SCADA and the control room, so you see the towers in all the substations. That's what the towers connect the all the substations to the Vidyut Sauda. So like that, we have this resourcefulness, rapidity, adaptability. Adaptability is in resilience. We should be able to build the design basis reports that are adaptable to change. That we have. I'll also talk about it as we move forward. You'll understand better. Next, ensures resilient infrastructure ensures the continuity of essential services, which I talked about: power, communication. In fact, when we did the first cellular backbone network in Gujarat and Maharashtra, there was a cyclone in Gujarat actually. The entire civic infrastructure was disturbed, but the communication, because of the that time, I'm talking about 97, 98 period. The communication was alive because of the first cellular backbone network that was built. So it will ensure the essential services continuity, the resilience, and protects the communities. And whether we talked about health infrastructure, we talked about education, then promotes the economic stability of the country. Without economic stability, we have seen actually in 2008, India's economic stability. When there was a subprime in the US, everywhere there was a recession, India could sustain because of the economic stability due to the infrastructure it has built, and supports sustainability and reduces inequality. So these are all the resilient infrastructure benefits actually. And now the topic I'm covering, the very important aspect, why this resilient infrastructure, how it can contribute to India's growth story. So we will touch upon highways and urban transportation, airports, ports and harbors, power and communication, water, including irrigation and drinking, schools and hospitals, and command control centers. This is very, very important thing we are seeing nowadays. Every city has got a command control center for monitoring the safety of the people, for monitoring the safety of the infrastructure also. Now, if we see the India's infrastructure growth or infrastructure investment in India, the roads first and foremost, the biggest now, India is investing about 2 lakh crores every year on the highways and roads. And we have seen in trillion, that means 37 lakh crores in the coming 6 years. Almost every year, 5 lakh crores. And next is uh, last 17 to 23, 6 years, if you see, it is 18 lakh crores. That means we are doubling in the coming 6 years from the last 6 years. That is the growth. And we have to build this resilient infrastructure to sustain this growth story, to add to this growth story. Otherwise, instead of investing on the new infrastructure, instead of investing in the growth, we'll be investing in correcting the past mistakes, actually. So this is the resilient infrastructure is very important for this growth. And energy next, most important, we are seeing. In fact, it is much higher than transport. If you see the investment in energy in the coming 6 years compared to past 6 years. Next, railways. We are seeing DFCC, we are seeing bullet train, we are seeing the metro, all these things. And other infrastructure, if you see, the growth is not that much. And the urban infrastructure next is very, very important. We are seeing the urbanization growth by 2050. It is expected that Indian urbanization will reach to 70% actually by 2050. So we have to invest in urban infrastructure. Otherwise, we are already experiencing the troubled times in transport, traffic, in public transport also, and water, very, very important thing. So railways and highways growth, if you see, the total railway track in kilometers and national highways length in kilometers, we still have lesser highway growth earlier, and now the highway growth is exceeding the railway growth, actually. This is the highways growth. As I said, we are touching 2 lakh crores of investment. And highway length also in kilometers, if you see, we are crossing 150,000, 150,000 kilometers lane length. Next is the length of railway track renewed in kilometers, 4,405 kilometers. Airports, we have seen, we are experiencing a really tremendous connectivity we have achieved in the last 10 years. The growth of airport infrastructure also is doubled, actually. We have seen we are able to reach the remote places very fast by this air connectivity. Next is the ports growth. Even the ports in the last 15 years, if you see, we have doubled, actually, number of ports and the handling freight. I'm not giving much of data, but I'm just showing the growth story of India in various infrastructure sectors. Next is the power generation. If we see, the power generation renewable also is growing, and we are growing in coal also. Next is the transmission line. Can we mute that?
Mute all, please.
Yeah. So this is the growth of transmission line. It is in the post-independence. If you see, the growth rate is very high immediately. But now that we are achieving the almost 100% electrification and all, the growth rate of this transmission is not that much. But now whatever growth we are doing is only to connect the renewable energy to this thing. And power grids, how each of these different power transmission companies, slowly we are moving from government-owned transmission systems to private transmission systems. We have done some of the projects with this PPP mode and BOT mode power transmission systems also. Next is the communication growth. We are experiencing that the number of cell phones and the number of connectivity that we have and the broadband. We are able to connect across the country with this broadband Wi-Fi connectivity. Communication growth is also enormous in our country, and we are leading actually, if you see the communication growth across the world. Next is the water pipeline growth. Water supply, Jal Jeevan Mission, we all know how, in fact, India has sequentially failed over 3-4 decades in implementing the water supply mission. But in the last 10 years, we are able to achieve better growth, and we are able to reach out to the maximum people with the water supply, drinking water, particularly protected drinking water. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, smart infrastructure benefits, how they can enhance the sustainability is efficient water management system, increased renewable energy sources, which I have shown in our growth story, and the reduced carbon footprint. This is the responsibility of engineers and planners and architects. So green infrastructure integration is also very, very advantageous for sustainability. And reduced waste and pollution. We are seeing so many projects where we are able to reduce the carbon emission and carbon footprint. Increased resilience. Next, the smart infrastructure can enhance the resilience in disaster preparedness, which I have already explained. I'll explain with the specific projects as we move forward about hazard mitigation, how for cyclone, for earthquake, it's still big challenge. I could participate in categorization of damage only, but we have worked on preparedness, means rehabilitation, relief, and restoration. That activity we have done. We have developed the methods for restoration, and so the resilient infrastructure, I'll show with the photographs and examples as we move forward. I think we have to disable the writing. Somebody is writing on the screen. Yeah. Next is the real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance.
I muted everyone, sir.
He's unmuting again.
Yes, I muted him.
Yeah.
No, he is able to again unmute, it seems. You just check it once, no?
Yes. One second, sir, doing.
Okay, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Public transport optimization, autonomous vehicle integration, and smart parking systems. These are all the smart transportation systems for resilient infrastructure. Energy management system, smart grids. Smart grids is for the people who are not aware. In fact, now we are getting so many sources of power. Like we have backup power, diesel generators, we have renewable energy, we have the electricity board power, that is coal or other sources. So the smart grid will take the power which is costing less. And so that is a very, very important thing. And also the smart grid integrates the total power supply system. Energy storage solutions. This is also, we are seeing now the solar power being transmitted by wireless from the space to that kind of technologies we are seeing. So energy management systems will gain a lot of significance in future. Water management systems, smart meters, and leak detection and prevention, water quality monitoring, automated water treatment, water conservation systems. These are all the things. So waste management, smart waste collection and scheduling, and automated waste sorting and cycling. Now this is very important. Wet waste, dry waste, and hazardous waste segregation. Waste to energy conversion and smart recycling facility. Green infrastructure incorporation and innovation and R&D. So we have to, as a country, for our growth story, encourage this innovation and experimentation. In fact, as mentioned in my introduction, I was attending FIB Congress in Oslo, of course, supported by Institution of Engineers. Institution of Engineers is a member in FIB. And I have seen one of the best organizations to work on directing the innovation and research, particularly to achieve the UNDP Sustainable Development Goals, 17 Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, they direct the research, they allocate the research to the specialist research organizations across the country. And they will guide the research in the needed areas. And they also come up with model codes every decade. 2020 model code is there, and now 2030 model code, already research is happening, and they will, from the research findings, they will make it part of the model code 2030. So this is the model I advocate for Institution of Engineering also in India to direct and guide our Bureau of Indian Standards and research organizations. In fact, Institution of Engineers has got a research fund, which Institution of Engineers encourages researchers by funding them. So this is the innovation and R&D, which is very important. And there are challenges in research and opportunities for research. Now, as I said, the core of our topic today is the resilience, the capability of a body to imbibe energy when the body deformed in its elastic limit. In other words, I would say this is the residual energy in the body after crossing the elastic state, actually. So we have come across, when I showed some of these photographs, I'll explain what is that resilience exactly. With the climate change and natural disasters becoming increasingly common, which also I'll support with the data, the topic examines strategies and techniques used to design buildings and structures that are resilient to extreme weather events and other hazards like fire, cyclone, earthquake, all these things, and even terrorist attacks. We have seen the resilience in World Trade Center when it was attacked by terrorists, that the building could withstand the attack for 2 hours so that people could escape. That resilience in the building has helped, in the structure, has helped people escape to safety, actually, minimize the loss of life. So structural resilience is the ability to rapidly resume the use of buildings and structures following a shock. This we'll see in earthquake, actually. The ductility that we talk about in earthquake is nothing but resilience, actually. So to successfully, it is essential to embrace associated aspects, avoidance, diminution, and or removal of identified threats or hazards. That is, we see this performance-based design. We will do all this. Preparation of for disaster event scenarios. Safe structures. So we analyze what are the risks, how big are these risks, and structure safety critical. When they fail, people may be killed, but no human activity is risky. So how safe is safe enough? This is the question we structural engineers. The people ask, what is the factor of safety? In fact, it is a partial safety factor that we adopt. In the partial safety factors, we adopt mainly to build this resilience in the structure, basically. So we have the latest methods to decide how safe the structure has to be. beyond the design limits. We are trained to design for the limit state, but how limit state of collapse can be prevented. That is the resilience that we do in our design. So my experience is with earthquakes and hazard mitigation for power transmission and distribution energy. I worked communication towers in India and Gujarat cyclone. The sky we dealt with. Infrastructure for SCADA for Hyderabad city power distribution we have worked. And Arunachal Pradesh we have worked for Air Force, Arunachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. And residential towers we have restored with resilience. The pore water pressure, which was not considered, which happened due to the climate change, we have restored utilizing the resilience in the structure. I'll share these examples actually. Bangalore building stability after soil failure. Also, I'll share the examples. And ultimately, the IT park restoration after the fire. Again, resilience against fire. So these are all the examples that we are sharing today. The experience that I'm going to share. Panchbhutas today, whatever they said, we engineers deal with these Panchbhutas: earth, sky, air, water, and fire. So these are the examples I'll be sharing today. Climate change, we are seeing the flooding. Hyderabad, actually, in 2020 October, about 5 years back exactly, Hyderabad was flooded to 60% of the residential areas actually. So why it happened, how it happened is because of this climate change. We are seeing 1908 to 2001, there were 5 extreme weather conditions. And now also it is happening 2020 and 2025. From 2002 to 2025, in 23 years, we are having 6 conditions of extreme rainfall actually. So this is the effect of weather change actually, climatic change. So we have to be prepared. Earlier we used to consider 100, we have this reliability coefficient which we consider in our design. So that reliability coefficient we have to recalculate with the current climatic change that is happening. So that is how we can build the resilience into the structure by increasing the reliability coefficient. Next is the hazard mitigation. So earthquakes, floods, fire, wind, and lightning. Lightning protection also is now very, very important in the structures. We have seen pictures of Burj Khalifa, how it protected Dubai with the lightning, and how the lightning arrestor is designed to earth the lightning strike, energy from the sky. And landslides we are seeing in Himachal Pradesh now. See, in fact, 2 years back it happened in Himachal Pradesh, and now also it is happening, the landslides. And terrorist attacks, of course, thankfully, terrorist attacks have reduced now of late, but still we have to learn to design. If not terrorist attacks, we are seeing in Gaza and Ukraine how the wars can affect the structure, and we have to build the resilience against such attacks in the structure. So strategies and techniques for mitigation or materials, by fiber reinforced materials we can use, which will bring in the resilience, and structural systems, robustness in structural design we have to do. And design philosophy, limit state, partial factors, safety factors, and ductile detailing also will help in resilience. Dynamic damping for against the wind, base isolation against earthquakes, and uncertainty modeling. This is for the loads uncertainty. Loads means like what we are telling, unexpected attacks. We can have a factor built into the design. And the materials and geometric uncertainties, the quality issues or geometry issues, we can either make them economical by using appropriate lesser partial safety factor, and make them resilient by using higher partial safety factor required where there are risks of higher risks of earthquake, higher risk of cyclone, like that. So resilient material, I am showing how a concrete can be made resilient. We are talking about ductility in steel. We are talking about 550D, 600D steel. But what about concrete? Because concrete is a brittle material, we can also make concrete a bendable. Bendable is nothing but absorbing the energy. Resilience is nothing but absorbing the energy. That means beyond elastic state, as I said. So this is how we can make concrete resilient. Next is the structural health monitoring. We can have early warning for the structure, and we have accentuated dampers. We have intelligent dampers for the building. So by monitoring the vibration levels in the structure, we can actuate the damping and save the structure and build the resilience into the structure. So earthquake now, I'll just show some of the examples of my experience post Gujarat. In Ahmedabad, I spent a week's time to help drafting the policy, to help restoring the structures, to help giving relief to the people. So this is the photographs of that earthquake in Gujarat, post Gujarat earthquake. In fact, you can see there is no ductile detailing. There is, in fact, most of the buildings were not designed for seismic, but fortunately the structure survived. Can we call it robustness in the structure? Yes, it is the robustness, because some of the schools, many schools actually, which are built in Prakash without proper design of joint, have failed also, because there is no robustness. In pre-engineered buildings, also we say there is no robustness. Similarly, the precast, if the joints are not designed, if they are not analyzed for the robustness, there is a risk of collapse. So these are all the photographs post-earthquake and the restoration that began. Column beam junction. Now, if you see these pictures, you can understand why we need to have ductile detailing and 13920 code for ductile detailing, providing the stirrups at the closest space will definitely save this kind of conditions from the structure, which will build the resilience to the structure. Next is the water flooding. I'll show you example of how people talk about poor water pressure. Nowadays, we are building basements, 4 basements, 5 basements, and tall residential towers. And this is the podium of a tall building in Hyderabad, which has been lifted like this with the poor water pressure. The whole podium, 2 floors, was lifted due to the poor water pressure can be so intense actually. So we have analyzed and got convinced that poor water pressure is the main reason for that lifting. And these are the restoration measures. Structure was resilient. It has not collapsed. It has not failed, but it has gone beyond the elastic limits. So we had to restore the structure. We analyzed the pore water pressure by plotting this permeability graph, and then calculated the pore water pressure, analyzed the structure. So this is the condition of the structure before we started the restoration of the structure. This is the next is the fire accident, post-tensioned slabs. Actually, I used to think before this accident, I used to think PT slabs are not safe against fire. I used to ask the PT vendors also. But after this accident, in fact, the building was saved because of the post-tensioning. You can see the total bottom reinforcement was exposed in the fire. Fire was so intense, cover is gone and reinforcement is exposed. But we have seen that the slabs, this is on top of the slab, we observed the deformation was not critical. There were cracks, but it has not gone beyond the serviceable limits. So we could restore the slab. So that is the resilience we have in the structural system. In fact, because of the material technologies that we adopt in the building. Next is man-made errors, removing the counterprops. You can see we have advised counterprops in 2 levels. Normally, as per IS code, we give counterprop at 1 level. But because in the post-tensioning, we have these pore strips in the long building, so we have advised until the pore strips are closed, you should have counter props. But during execution casting level, they removed this counter prop at the second level. And because of that, the slab cracked like this. It was a large span, 11 meters, 13 meter span, and it has cracked. But because of resilience, it has not collapsed. But we have restored that by lifting the slab, by plugging the pore strip also. Next is the deep excavation. So we have this building adjacent. This was about 20 meters deep excavation. And adjacent to 20-meter deep excavation, there was a 5-storied building. And in spite of this slope failure, the building is saved. That also I call it robustness in the structure and resilience in the structure. Next is the failure in the bottom slab of a W section due to prop settlements on sandy soil. So here you can see the slab was cast first and it was designed as a W section. Neutral axis is above the slab. So that means once you cast the wall, whole slab will be in compression. But because there was a settlement in the prop due to before casting of the wall, there was a crack. And we could, this is also, I call it resilience in the structural system. And we propped back, cast the wall, and then this crack got closed by itself because of the compressive stress in the system. So if we understand the structural systems, there is huge resilience in the structural system. Next is the liquefaction infrastructure. We have designed runways in northeast Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the runways that we have designed. And this is the Google map before the runway. And this is the Google picture after the runway is done. So here what we have done is, we have done the design for liquefaction because the soils are silty clays. So silty clays and silty sands, you will find sands, you will have the liquefaction possibility because it's a seismic zone 5. And in seismic zone 5, we have designed the system with by using the geotextile and also ground improvement by what you call stabilization, lime stabilization and cement stabilization. So this is how we can build the resilience to the infrastructure. And because of that, though the runway is designed for what you call AN-32 aircraft, Sukhoi could land. In fact, they tested our runway by landing Sukhoi at the time of inauguration. So this is the resilience in infrastructure because this is primarily for defense. In the defense, the highest aircraft is the Sukhoi, and it is 3 Mach aircraft actually. So we have designed. Next is the hazard mitigation in the combined state power distribution, power transmission, and substations. So we have reviewed the design criteria, construction practices, and quality assurance. And this is nowadays you see these spun concrete poles in the distribution network, whereas earlier they used to use the electric poles with the steel eye girders and all, channels and eye girder. So they used to collapse, a series of poles used to collapse. And now we have reviewed that design criteria and enhanced the stability of the power distribution system in Andhra Pradesh. After 96, there was no blackout of 1 week like that in Andhra Pradesh actually. So next is the rotary man traffic movement. Next, in cities, we have this intersection of 2 important roads where we have proposed in Vizag this rotary management system at the NAD junction where these 2 highways meet. So this is how infrastructure, traffic movement. In fact, I missed a flight at this junction. Somehow I cursed the design, and God has given me opportunity to design this rotary management system. So that's how we could build the resilience into traffic actually. So this is the after completion photograph of this. This is during construction. Next is the rapid metro Gurgaon. We know that we have Delhi Metro, DMRC, and rapid metro is a concept of last mile connectivity. The metro goes into the main buildings, office buildings, very close to the office buildings, and they are connected. So this is the rapid metro where we have designed a single span without what you call segmental actually. Very construction we could complete in 2 years with a precast railway station floor actually. So this is the project we have done, and it has built the resilience into the traffic actually. So this is the roof of that metro rail now. Next is the harbors and ports. We have done in Andhra Pradesh 6 fishing harbors where we have designed and prepared the DPR for these harbors. And in Mumbai, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust also we could offer our services. Next is the reinforced earth retaining wall that we see in most of the places in these trumpet interchange. They use these precast panels. That's a very good thing. But the mistake people do is the corner in this abutment and this retaining wall. So that junction was not integrated. And so there was a failure. But unfortunately, there was no collapse. And we have restored that. Next is the rigid pavements, resilient to excessive rainfall. In Mumbai, it was implemented about 30 years back. Because of frequent rainfall, if you use these bitumen pavements, then you will have the problems of brittleness and damage to the roads, potholes we are seeing. So cement, PQC, pavement quality concrete, and white topping will help improve that. So we have done in Vijayawada also this project of auto cluster development, where we have implemented this white topping and rigid pavements actually. Next, we had done this interim capital in Andhra Pradesh and the power transmission in Andhra Pradesh. We have done from Vizag to Hyderabad, 1000 megawatt evacuation, and also we have done Raichur to Solapur, 300 kilometers, 765 kV, again 1000 megawatt evacuation of the power. Communication towers, we have done AP backbone from Vizag to Hyderabad, and Gujarat and Maharashtra we have done, and FM towers all over the country we have done in Kerala, in Rajasthan, Barmer, and Andhra Pradesh. And we developed this spun concrete poles, 40-meter pole in spun concrete with a M80 grade concrete about 25 years back itself. We have done. You can erect this pole in 2 days, transport and erect with the foundation. And water storage tanks. So we have done this kind of water storage tanks and effluent treatment in Tamil Nadu. We have done 7 districts of Tamil Nadu, Salem, Erode, and all these districts. Next, aqueduct and jetty, intake jetty for the water, and box bridge and reservoir. Also, we have done. So these are the photographs of this infrastructure. And these are the runways we have done in various locations in Arunachal Pradesh, which are all almost nearing 6 to 7 years completion. And so the Dindigul Air Force Academy also runway we have done, and cross drainage works in irrigation, and expressways in Bangalore expressway, and Amravati master plan roads, we have done the DPR audit, and Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, we have done combined state of Andhra Pradesh about 3,000 kilometers, and these bridges in hazard mitigation, and so that also is for resilience in infrastructure actually, and this is the housing. So finally, I am concluding with the call for action is to invest in resilient infrastructure for growth. So to sustain our growth story, we need this resilient infrastructure. And I have explained the challenges with all the examples of the projects that we have done. And you can see the opportunity when there is a challenge actually. Engineers have the opportunity when there is a challenge. So we engineers have to grab that opportunity, and we have to work for this resilient infrastructure to aid for the India's growth story. So this is all I wanted to share today. And I thank all the organizations like IAStructE, ACCE, Hyderabad Center, Focus, iBuild, and all the organizations, and particularly Anchuri, who is kingpin in all these organizations, for giving me this opportunity. And Rahul, wish you all the best. You are a young, budding entrepreneur again. And
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It's very good to meet you and see all the great stuff and a lot of history and the projects you have taken up from long bit of time in one presentation is just informative and so much to learn from you. Thank you once again for inspiring.
Thank you, Mr. Surya Prakash. In fact, the way you touched, there are some people from other than India, because there are some from Bangladesh and Qatar, and there are the representatives of 190 countries. We have one forum. So where because of the timing, the different time. So I think before we go for question answer, we'll give some gap for you and Mr. Bala. There are a few people, those who can interact, and then we go for question answer. So in fact, I was worried 6:15 was the cutoff time. The tower is okay, but time was problem. But we've gone through that. So we were 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I thought it will shut down, but it has not, because we were talked. It went on. It's good. So if Mr. Rajkumar is there, if you can say a few words, and then we will go for Mr. Bala and Surya Prakash sir for some questions which we received. Mr. Rajkumar.
Yeah. 1 second. Thank you. It all wonderful sessions, culminating all the concept to completion, including all the utilities and infra. This kind of combination of works, towering personalities like Surya Prakash said, a lot of things he had done in various areas. And it's an opportunity for all of engineers to get an opportunity in various fields of work, actually. Like we are also doing in roads and, water, and many other things. It's an opportunity, and we should delve into getting into that kind of opportunities. It will not come to us. I know when people are bidding, various stages. In the recent past, also I have explaining and telling people that engineers all engineers should become the executing agencies with our own expertise. We can become more and more effective executors than the contractors which we are doing. Some people are engaging us and utilizing our knowledge and making nation building. But we, as engineers, we should also, as entrepreneurs, we should enterprise ourselves and become the nation builders. So this is my appeal and request to all of you. Let us all collaboratively let us work, and this collaboration should go in a long way. And we have domain experts in various domain experts. Now the era is have a collaborative work. So various domain experts come together, make a consortium, and go for the including the EPC contracts. Now this forum is having a lot of influential people with the government and with the policy makers who should influence that. The last 2-3 days, I don't know why I was thinking about all these things. Last 2-3 days, I was thinking why we should not influence the policymakers to give the opportunity for the engineers, especially the civil engineers and the main core engineer sector people, to come forward to give the opportunity to execute the jobs because our only drawback is not having any kind of major our capital investment. That if the EMDs and other things, they have a exemptions. As a consortium, we can start doing execution of the projects such that all of us can build the nation with growing each other, and let us work towards it. And the influential people like Anchuri and Surya Prakash, many other people are here who can influence the policymakers to give an opportunity to all of us. And let us work towards it. I am with you all, and I'm also working on it. You people join with me, and let us make a better future for the core engineers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rajkumar. So nice of you. In fact, there are some research scholars because we should not end the interaction like this. So we will have some more minutes because there are some people, sir. Normally, what we see is only civil engineers doing the project management consultancy, but there are some people, right? Normally from buildings, in the building sector. In the initial days, one is gender limitation. We think that only males can dominate a PMC, but there are research scholars in this. I think if Esther Rani is there, be ready with your question because you are asking about the. She's an architect and she is doing building construction management and research in the AI in the project management. She has very good different doubts, but before I go to Mr. Bala or Mr. Surya Prakash to answer about the AI or digital tools in the current implementation other than the softwares which we are using. We have Mr. Amir Ashraf from Bangladesh, and he's very active in that country. Even though it's a small country, but they are doing a vast development. And he was asking about, and always he will be, talking about Indian growth and all. But he's very keen about Bangladesh growth. And can you have your words, Mr. Ashraf?
Namaste. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, your head is seen. yeah. Now everything is seen. Yes.
Okay. Actually, it's nice to understand that we are thinking about AI, but I think my back cover is enough. Everyone knows me. I am Hanaf Amir Ashraf. My back cover is enough. I am a platform of convener. Anjuli sir is there, so he knows me very well. Actually, I think that I joined lately. Sir knows I have a busy schedules. Am I audible clearly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
So it's an important part that how we can think about the explanation of urbanism. I have had seen some good examples of urbanism that Kerala and Hyderabad here and lot of things. I think that it's now time to regenerate us about how we can think flamboyant architecture and tensile-free architecture in urbanism because I had connected a lot of foreigners. They are thinking like urbanism should be user friendly and public accessible. If we make high structures and if we think about the construction materiality and cost effectiveness, we should think the very cost effective and very low height and very public amalgamated and public accessible structure so that it can give us a peace. The public feel yesterday we all had a Vijaya Dashami, so we all know that how the gathering people are coming to the space, and public space should be very vibrant. Uh, like I have seen a lot of movies, so I know I can explain Feluda, Satyajit Ray. We all know he's one of the my favorite movie is Jai Baba Felunath. There he is tactfully speculates that how the Kachori Goli of Vishwanath, how the space should be connected with the urban people. So we have to think about that, how we can make an alley or it can be AI made, it can be urbanism connected, but these should be connected with the people. If we connect with the people, then we can make this urban friendly environment. Otherwise, the structure is structure, people is people. This is the, I think, Anjuli sir, am I correct? This is the confusion about the people. People cannot dialogue with the structure. People only sitting and not aimlessly working. But if it can make them a space, because I love to get the vibe of Vishwanath Goli. I love to get the vibe of Dasashamet Ghat, because this is the part of the Banaras where people can gather and people used to have their spaces to get their life live moments. So I think as an urban designer, I am working. AI can help us to make some whatever it should be Revit or whatever it should be conceptual conceptual ideas, but we can finalize at a real structure that can make people new thing. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
great, Mr. Amir. In fact, you will get response from our speakers. We have Sitaram sir. I know he's a very, disciplined and very experienced and seeing the country since 50 years. In fact, Mr. Surya Prakash and I know I'm very into him. That way, Mr. Krishnamurthy, Mr. Sitaram, and Dr. N. Prakash and Dr. Bala, they are very seniors and they have seen the India's real growth. Can we have some points from you, Mr. Sitaram Agrawalji?
Yes, I'm thankful to Mr. Surya Prakash. He has given a very good, elaborate speech or a lecture on the resilience. Now, my small worry is that we are missing an opportunity for reducing the road width of Char Dham. Now, this is under question because so many casualties have happened, landslides have happened, and we have been listening, we have been reading, we have been experimenting that when the slopes are there, we can retain the slopes so landslides can be avoided. So what do we say in this? Because we should not miss an opportunity as an engineer, because this is a disgrace to be engineers that we are not able to sustain that width which we are basically got approved, and then now we are not able to do it, and it is under question, and the things are being under review. ये थोड़ा सा एक इशू है जो मेरे को हर्ट कर रहा था कि हम इंजीनियर्स जो है वो सस्टेन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, रेजिलियंस नहीं कर पा रहे हैं.
Yeah.
So ये I think
Okay,
Mr.
sir.
Satyprakash.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Surya Prakash is there? I'm not seeing him.
Mr. Surya Prakash है भाई साहब.
Yeah. Achha, you were there. I thought disconnect. Sir, you heard him. So finally you can take the view. Mr. Adinarayana, he's from, what to say, minings. We talk about, always about everything, but we ignore about minings. It's a very, very challenging thing. You were the other day talking about the risk what you normally face in the Singarini or every day out and day in. So you had a question to Mr. Surya Prakash also. We can say a few words and ask your question. Unmute yourself, please, before we go. Rahul, can they unmute themselves?
Yes, I'm sending.
No, you just unmute. They keep that option open now.
Yes, we unmuted everyone here now because of the Q&A session.
If he's not able to, then I will request any eminent personality or any participant, if they have any direct question, you can just unmute yourself and ask, and then we will take final comments from them.
Sir, I am Dr. Bhaskaran, Joint Director, Industries Department, Government of Tamil Nadu.
Yes, sir.
I am now deputed to Tamil Nadu Startup Innovation Mission.
Okay.
It is in Nandanam. So next week we are going to conduct a Global Startup Summit at Coimbatore, 9th and 10th. So that is the information I want to give. Anyone can attend there. Lot of throughout world, 39 countries are coming. So many speakers are there. So in all sectors, they are going to come. This is one news, sir. Sir, the lectures which was given are very, very useful. Even though I am a mechanical engineer, the old back, whatever CPM part and all, we read it that time. Very useful, sir. And then the latest technology they told also very good. Sir, my only one question is, nowadays they are saying that in construction, robo is making a major play, robotics. Anyone can tell, sir, what areas and all. I heard, but I have not seen. So if you have any answers on that, anyone can issue. How robo is helpful in making the infrastructure so that time, cost, everything can be reduced.
Mr. Surya Prakash.
Yeah, I'll first take the question of Sitaram Agrawalji. Very important question. In fact, I had interacted with Himachal Pradesh engineering departments and Chief Minister 2 years back after the soil slope stability failures actually. And we did a work on that, but the main challenge is the costs, because when we talk about slope stability, landslides, we have to look at it in a holistic way. The costs that are coming for earth retaining walls is very high actually, compared to the temporary measures that are being adopted. So to protect the road width that you are talking about, or increase the lane width for the ghat roads that we have in the Himalayan region, I personally experienced the challenge actually. So it's really an engineering challenge. All of us have to work to come out with the solutions, innovative solutions actually. That's an opportunity for the research also. And we have to come up with real workable practical solution which is within the economic range viability actually. So you being a senior, you understand, I think, whatever I talk. In fact, Himachal Pradesh government is suffering actually from these FRMB limits for borrowing the money to improve the infrastructure. That's where they could not adopt any of the solutions which are proposed technically, which are correct, but they are not becoming viable in terms of investment for the government. In fact, it is beyond engineers' reach actually that.
No, we should not say so, sir. We should not beyond
No,
engineers.
economy, sir. Economy.
Economy, yes, but then we can economize. We are expert in economizing.
Yeah, we should in fact work on those economic solutions. We know these dry stone retaining walls, which was the immediate thing for restoration of some of the slope failures that happened, was adopted actually by the government. Next, coming to the implementation of the robos, which was raised very interesting by Bhaskaran sir. It is for a startup, that is a really good topic actually. And we know that we are using this, immediately we are using the automation in construction, in which the robos, which have to be adopted in production of concrete or laying of the concrete, spreading of the concrete, is to be done. At present, we have reached up to the 3D printing and 3D precast. Actually, we are able to achieve. At present, the robots are only for material handling. Robo means I call machines only. The robotic thing, we have to adopt this in construction, where we had the like piling rigs, we had accidents. Batching plants, we had accidents. We lost people lives actually. So that is where, to protect the human lives, we have to implement the robots for saving the lives in construction. So that is, which is for the coming years actually. So we should, your conference, I feel, should deliberate more on where all applications and who all can come in. Again, the big question is, any automation requires the volumes. Adaptation is also very important. In fact, last 20 years, we are working, Rajkumar knows, Anchuri knows, how even for mechanization in construction, we are facing challenges. Even right now, in housing, affordable housing construction, if we want to implement the technology to reduce the cost, to improve the speed, we face a lot of resistance. And unless we achieve volumes in such affordable housing, in mass housing construction, we cannot implement the technology. Like for IIT Madras is working on these technologies, we all know, faster construction. But any faster construction technology, if it is not adopted in volumes, the economy of scale will not be there. So we have to achieve that economy of scale, sir. I definitely look forward to outcome of your conference next week, Bhaskaran sir.
Yeah, thank you. In fact, we said 90 minutes, but it's 120 minutes plus. So before just we conclude, sir, Mr. Prabhu sir, One question for you and another question for Mr. Surya Prakash. Sir, today architectural and engineering, there is a little and a still sync or say collaboration is required. Like medical engineering, see, we are talking about AI, we are talking about robots, we are talking about technology, we are talking about the fourth dimension of time. So, what is your sir suggestion for the youngsters? How to integrate? Because today all are on one platform. That may be digital, that may be a new era. So, what is your suggestion for the young generation, sir?
Can you
Yes, sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. In the case of architectural engineering, it's a all-inclusive approach to problem solutions. Normally, a building subjected to hazards fails, and these failures require solutions to correct the buildings. On the other hand, at the time of hazards, if we can foresee the effects and incorporate resilient measures, you require only minor corrections. So in the 5-step method of arriving at a correct solution, you can skip 2 methods. After failure, you need not bother because you avoid such major failures so that you require only minor correction. That is one. Secondly, we should make a all-inclusive study of different subjects, not only civil engineering, not only architecture, but mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, even computer, and every field of knowledge, including biomedical aspects, so that we'll be able to foresee what is likely to happen in the case of a hazard and then go in for a resilient solution to meet that. Such is the approach, so that it's an all-inclusive approach to problems. So it is not ultimately architectural engineering is a very broad-based study instead of confining oneself to one specific discipline. That's my
Great, sir.
approach to
Great.
that.
Great answer, sir. Mr. Surya Prakash, you were talking about resilience, you were talking about so many things, but you being the part of institution of engineers from the civil engineering side, but do you think only few branches, if they come together and fight for this, that maybe engineers bill or something, because we have more than 15 branches in the country in different domains. Again, subdomains are different, where some people are serious, some people are little following. And your video is viral, and you asked question, a very strong question to Nitin Gadkari ji, who is a very powerful person as present in the infrastructure, and he very clearly said, "You first unite yourself." What is your say on that?
Exactly. In fact, he said the same words in 2015 when I met Nitin Gadkari ji. He told me personally that we have to resolve among engineers about the need of the engineers bill. That's how I had to enter into Institution of Engineers, because IEI is the only organization where all disciplines of engineering have representation actually. Otherwise, we have specialist organizations like ACCE, CEA, IGS, and Structural Engineers Forum, IAStructE, so many IBC, IRC. We have so many specialist organizations, but there is no unanimity among all these. So I entered IEI to integrate all these
కూర్చోమ్మా నేను
engineers.
వెళ్ళొస్తా తలపేసి అన్ని పడుకున్నాడా
Oh,
Sorry, sorry. So that's the reason why exactly, if you see my entry into IEA also, 2016, first I attempted to become a council member. I could not succeed. 2021, I succeeded. And now, if you see IEI, in the last 4 years, we have made first time in IEI, Engineers Build Task Force Committee, for which I am the convener. And I am working on uniting all the engineering disciplines to work for this engineers bill. Hopefully we'll, and now we have seen at the national level, already draft bill is in, has been sent to PMO, and PMO has constituted a committee to finalize this draft bill. So we are in a very good stage as of now. because earlier, I don't know whether I should can mention or not, but in 2009, it was IEI which was against this engineers bill being enacted when it was in the final stage among 7 connected ministries. After knowing that only, we started all the associations of civil engineering. We started working with IEI to convince them, but it was a tough task at that time convincing IEI. But now it is now IEA also is part of this engineers bill action group, and we are working on it. So let us hope we will be able to achieve that. In fact, all the engineers must know that our engineering is not recognized as a profession by our constitution as of now. Whereas most of the countries, even smallest country like Maldives has an Engineers Act. Pakistan has got Engineers Act, but India doesn't have an Engineers Act. That due to so many reasons. But now at least we should see that engineers are recognized as a professional people, and we should regulate our profession among all the disciplines. It is very much essential for all the disciplines, not just civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer science. All disciplines must have this act so that they can regulate their work, profession, and become accountable for the growth of our country.
Great, sir. In fact, that was the reason why I chose the word integration for this particular webinar itself. In fact, sir, when we started about 30, 40 years back, we were talking about only discipline, then multidisciplinary came, then interdisciplinary came. But now it's a time for transdisciplinary concept where everybody has to come together, and definitely that will happen like medical field where everybody has to work together to have successful, medication or operation or whatever. So here, I think your efforts, including everybody's individual efforts, we have to come together, and I wish you all the best, including myself, who is going to try for bringing the people together and then take the country ahead of everybody. Thanks a lot. And before I see off, and I would like to request our secretary, Mr. Sainath, to propose vote of thanks very in a brief words.
Thank you, Anjali sir. Have a big hand for the real conclusion. This is what we want. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Anil. Yeah. Over to Mr. Sai.
Good evening, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to deliver vote of thanks on behalf of our organizing team or for today's national webinar on integrating infrastructure and built environment. First and foremost, our sincere thanks to all the speakers who took the time to share their insights as well as their expertise. Engineer P. Surya Prakash sir for highlighting the challenges and opportunities in building resilient infrastructure for India's growth story, and Professor Dr. Balagopalan sir for his valuable thoughts on architectural engineering's role in building resilient built environment, and Engineer A.K. Praveen Kumar for his practical perspective on engineering infrastructure solutions. And a special thanks to our guest of honor, Engineer P. Sivakumar sir, for sharing his deep industry expertise and best practices in construction from PEPPL. Your contributions made this session both informative and inspiring. And a heartfelt thanks to our moderator, Dr. S.P. Anchuri sir, whose thoughtful coordination ensured the seamless flow of the event and engaging discussions throughout. We extend our gratitude to our supporting organizations, ACCE India Hyderabad Chapter, Indian Concrete Institute, and our knowledge partner, the LINEx Talks, and our media partner, UBuild, for continued support in making this webinar a grand success. We are also grateful to organizing committees of IAStructE, Focus Hyderabad, and Institute of Architectural Engineering, Kozhikode, for their joint efforts in conceptualizing and executing this event. Last but not the least, we thank all our participants from all over country who joined us online today. Your enthusiasm, your feedback, what it makes this discussions truthful. Let us continue to work together towards building a stronger, more resilient infrastructure and built environment. Thank you once again for all participating in this webinar, and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, it's great. But before we just log off, Rahul, you were talking about e-certificates and next program. Just quick in one line.
Yes, I've been requesting through the chat box, sharing the registration forms to fill it up in regards to receive the e-certificates to the respective emails, and also requesting you to join our WhatsApp platform, only admin operated, where we can share the relevant information and important information about our future webinars and another important informations. So before you go, I just wanted to take this time for a quick minute to share my next webinar, which is going to be a really interesting one. As we already know under the national webinar, our projected next webinar to be an international webinar. We are bringing up with some interesting topics, integrating with opportunities that could lead using the artificial intelligence. So I request all the participants to, to connect through WhatsApp platform through the link mentioned in the chat box, where the existing participants can take advantage of the early registrations and much more access from there. Thank you once again for joining today's webinar and making it a huge success. And once again, special thanks to all the speakers. Really very informative and a lot more to learn, I feel like, after going through this presentation. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
one,
thank you.
Anjali sir, one request to Bhaskaran sir to send some more details about that startup summit in Coimbatore.
In fact, we have this NatCon in the month of February, and we have this ACCon in the December, and we'll share the things with you. Yeah, thank you.
Share my number, sir, 9444113605.
Yeah, you can put in the chat
You
box.
can put them in the chat box, sir. We are controlling it from our
Put
team.
in
We will
WhatsApp,
reach
sir.
out
I'll
to
send
you.
the link, sir. Take a
Yes,
reference.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Okay, Mr. Prabhu, Mr. Surya, and everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul ji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashraf. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving an opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Shivakumar.
Congratulations,
We'll see you again.
Anchuri.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Anchuri, Sainath, Rahul, for conducting a very seamless session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Surya Prakash, sir.
Bye.
Bye.